People are using Stam Ground Patrol to stack all kinds of units, like archers, X-bows, CA, lancers, Kamajuks. Like if prior to that games, or to those games, I saw my opponent doing that, what would be going on my brain would be like, oh, he's fucking up. You know, like he fucked up. He forgot to change stances, which happens quite often to me. So like that's probably what went through Viper's head at first. Then he realized like maybe it's good, but yeah. Viper was doing it with archers on the tourney. Everybody does it with archers. Like if you pay attention to how I play, or any pro player really, our archer units are always on stand ground, and we always patrol forward on stand ground. Exactly, so we can do that. So we can stack on top of our units and, you know, get more DPS in. It's exactly the same mechanic. It's just that it's kind of broken for melee units apparently, because, you know, you cannot engage on them properly. So if one player does it and the other one doesn't while engaging, then the guy who doesn't do it is gonna get smacked. But I know there's already discussions on whether it should be allowed or not. It might get banned for future tournaments. I just don't know where you draw the line, because sometimes like I don't abuse that, or haven't done it yet. But I still put my units on I put my scouts on stand ground, right? And sometimes I forget to change them, and they're just patrolling like that accidentally. I always thought they were doing nothing, but apparently they are hitting. I would say the biggest argument against it is not that it's not intended or whatever, because that would take out many other things we use that are probably not intended by the devs. I think it's just that it's not visually good for the game. Like it looks kind of stupid when you see it in a tournament game, right? It doesn't look good for the viewers. Which I think is a fair argument. It doesn't, like, people watch this game partly because it's like it can resemble reality, right? Knights against knights and shit. If you just stack on top of each other and that's how you're supposed to fight optimally, I feel like that's I don't know. It can turn people off. So that part I see. I could see why it would be banned for that reason. And we had way worse things a while back. I remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but there used to be this thing called Pike Patrol. So Pike Patrol was, you basically used to patrol. So imagine you had archers, and the enemy also had archers, and you were outnumbering him by 1. What you would do is you would patrol into the enemy, they shoot, then you patrol again, and they basically move faster. So you basically couldn't run away from units, from archer units. They would just re-patrol and catch up to you. So anytime you moved out with archers and the enemy had more than you, he would just chase you non-stop, and there was nothing you could do about it. He just moved faster. I think that got fixed. But yeah, like that I think that was more game breaking than this patrol thing is. It does kind of break the counter system, yes and no. It doesn't if the opponent with the counter units uses it himself too, right? So it does break the counter system if one guy is using them and the other guy isn't. So one could say that it's just about learning how to use it, just like everything else in the game. But either way, I don't think it would, like, it just doesn't look good for tournament games to have that, I think. I mean, they're still breaking the counter system, but not really. Like, for you to break the counter system, both units would have to be on even ground. And if one's using a better mechanic, or if one is using a better mechanic and the other one isn't, then it doesn't really make sense to compare them. You would need to put them both on the same circumstances, both using the mechanic, and then if the paladins still win there when they shouldn't, then that would be breaking the counter system. Because you can use the halves. You can have the halves doing that against the paladins. The paladins don't do it, the halves do. That's possible, right? And then you could say it's working as intended because the halves are winning. And when in reality, it's just whoever uses it is going to have an advantage over the guy who doesn't. No, the Stand Patrol, was that in Vulio or is it a DE thing? The one I was talking before, like units stacking on top of each other while using Stand Patrol, that happens now. Like that, I use that every game almost. And that's like seen as something that is okay by the community. Once again, this is not even a new mechanic. Like, people have been using that that thing since 10 years ago. It's nothing new. It's just something that we don't use on RM because we're noobs, right? But it's definitely something that has been around for a long time, and anybody could have used before. Alright boys, I cannot find the game. I think I'm gonna end it here. I'm getting really hungry. I didn't really have much breakfast. It's 2 p.m. here.